Good morning, Wildcats. It's Friday, March 27th, 2020, and we are concluding our second week of remote learning. Today, I'm going to provide you some news stories, as usual, regarding our fight against the coronavirus. And today, I got to say, I'm reporting a series of pretty good stories. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about the California COVID tracker from San Francisco Chronicle. I'm going to talk about how San Francisco has tackled the coronavirus, how they're changing some of their regulations to bolster their efforts against the virus. I'm going to talk about New York's battle against the crisis working. This is the center of outbreaks in the United States right now. So it's really good. We're seeing positive results. And finally, Amazon is taking precautions against employees with the virus. And we all know that Amazon ships to every household essentially in the United States. So it's important that they're not spreading further. Now, let's get into the details. Coronavirus tracker. You know, I've been looking at this every day. San Francisco Chronicle has been tracking it since the beginning. They're including more data, which I really like. Bay Area has 1,527 cases, 34 deaths. We're looking at that right here, essentially. And that is an important number because I think we in Mendocino County need to be considering the approximate location we are to the rest of the Bay Area. I want you to notice California total, we're at 4,265 with 86 deaths. So you could say that almost, 40% of deaths are centered around the Bay Area. Total in the United States, we have 97,000 cases with 1,475 deaths. It may not seem like it with the continuing surge in positive tests, but San Francisco officials have done their part to stay ahead of the outbreak and put the city in a better position than most to handle the pandemic. Um, More help could be on the way as medical students across the state are asking to join the fight despite not yet completing their training programs. Really cool. Basically, hey, we've had a couple years of doctor training. It's time for us to step up. Let us get out there. Um, For efficiency purposes, let's continue on to the next source that I want to look at. This is yet again from the San Francisco Chronicle. All of their COVID content is free and really comprehensive. Let's talk about how San Francisco has stayed ahead of the coronavirus. There was one really clean example I wanted to point out. Um, Before the crisis, it took 9 months on average to hire a single city employee. That timeline has long infuriated department heads who need nurses, case managers, and bus drivers immediately. But as of Monday, the city has hired 82 new nurses in the previous 2 weeks. The coronavirus has prompted San Francisco to literally kind of revolutionize how it's hiring people to get as many people helping us as possible. Thank you. I'm glad that they're willing to make that shift and change. Another example of that, the city has long been short on hospital beds, particularly for those suffering psychiatric emergencies, but took years to add a few dozen here and a few dozen there. This week, Breed announced she asked the state and federal government for 5,000 more hospital beds. We have had to change. The whole thing is moving faster than anything that's ever happened to us. Our emergency response was never built for this, and now we've got to adjust it hour by hour, day by day. This is the nature of this, ladies and gentlemen. We are literally just kind of playing ball with what has been presented in front of us. Let's continue on. Let's talk about New York for a second. Governor Cuomo, he is one of the most outspoken governors during the time of the corona crisis. He is the governor of New York, and he says the increase in cases is starting to slow in New York. There's a marked decrease from early on in the outbreak when it was doubling every 2.5 days. It is still doubling. That's bad news because that still means you're moving up towards an apex, but there's good news in that the rate is slowing. The state currently has 53,000 hospital beds, and it's projected to need 140 at its apex. Cuomo says that's the apex of the curve. The top of that curve is called the apex. We're looking far and wide, very creative, aggressive, finding all the spaces that we can possibly find and converting it to be ready-made with the overflow capacity once these cases have to go into the hospital. So these hospitals are literally finding new physical space to include beds and treatment areas for these COVID patients. I'm going to ask the president today if he will authorize another 4 temporary hospitals for us. I want to have one in every borough. Borough is like a section of New York. And President Trump has been supporting New York and these different centers of New York, of the coronavirus outbreak. New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, centers of the coronavirus outbreak. Let's move on to the last article for today. Amazon officials say company is taking every precaution after workers test positive. As Americans stock up and often clear out grocery stores, Amazon has taken on a growing role. At this time, Amazon is trying to keep its nearly 800,000 employees worldwide safe. Workers and local news reports have flagged positive tests for COVID-19, the disease caused by the coronavirus, in at least 11 Amazon warehouses in 10 states. Some employees say they feel exposed when they go to work and that the company should be doing a better job protecting them. According to representatives of the company, we are taking every precaution we can. This is a little interview with a representative of the company, and you can actually listen to it in this link. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay up to date on the coronavirus news. Knowledge is power. We're doing everything we can to take care of the situation. Today, you need to have 5 total journal writes for this week completed, 250 words each, and you'll also be addressing the essential question that was posted. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, remember, email me or call me. Okay? Be well, and I hope you have a good weekend. Finish this so you can have a school-free weekend, my friends. Stay strong.